So we're going to give this puppy a puppy groom. The reason for cutting your puppy young is because it helps the curls come in quicker. You use a number 3 blade. The first thing you have to do is take a slicker like this, and you must brush the whole coat out. Completely brushed out, then you will snag. So with the number 3 blade, you kind of start at the back, you go with the coat the entire way. This is a long enough blade for a puppy. This is not for an adult. In an adult coat, the number 3 blade will cut the coat too short unless you're just looking for, a pet cut. The number 3 blade can be a real good thing if you've got a Lagotto that you do a lot of water sports with, or you're not really interested in showing, or you don't need the appropriate length. A number 3 blade can be a really nice way to avoid having to do a scissor clip, and it's really fast. So you just go along the body. I kind of start in the middle, and you want to kind of keep it like mowing the lawn or doing your carpet, vacuuming. You want to kind of make each time overlap the other, and then you'll start to see the body. This is to be really careful about is a hot blade. The number 3 blades don't get as hot as a tin or something like that, but you always want to have some type of coolant around if you're cutting. And when you're cutting a baby, remember they've got a life ahead of them being cut like this. So it's enormously important that we make this a positive, good experience. If you start to see the puppy get stressed, or you see the puppy getting tired, or really squirming, some of it you can't allow, some of it you have to tell them to stay at one place, but use a little common sense. If the puppy's overworked or showing heavy signs of stress, stop and give them a break. If they look funny for a couple of hours, it's okay. But always important to remember that they have a life of grooming ahead of them. We really want to make sure they're set out positively. I'm going to finish this up, and I will be back to show you some other important aspects of this. You want to go straight down over the bottom, on the top of the legs here. And normally you leave the legs on a puppy alone, except for to shape it up. So you're going to take that number 3 blade down. So that's how you're going to do the rear part, and you'll go straight down like this. Now, you also do the same for the shoulders. Good baby. A little bit later. Remember, a Lagotto isn't supposed to be over-groomed, so the point of this is not to make the dog look really pretty. It's to actually help the curls come in more effectively. Usually start at the back of the neck here and work down, straight down, just like that. Okay, so now a little bit about the tail. Most of the clipper, and all that on the legs, you can see I've taken quite a bit down off of the back here, and you go down to about there when you take that out. With the tail, you do brush it up. There should be no feathering of the tail. So you take the tip, and you're going to cut the very end of it off to the bone. Proper length of a Lagotto tail is just to the hock here. So you pull that up, bring it out. This is where your long scissors come in. You then will take your long scissors, hold it out, and just go straight up like this. The tail should be fat at the base, thin at the end, with no feathering. Okay. All right, so pull that out pretty thick at the top, and you're going to go all the way up past where the tail is. Hold that sucker up. Pull down the feathering. and over the top. I know, baby. Just like that. So, groomers, this tail is not a Bichon tail. It doesn't get naked. You don't make it completely flat. It should be thicker up here at the top. And on the other hand, there should be no feathering, nothing coming down. It's a kicked carrot, thick at the top, thin at the bottom. So that, for a baby, is a pretty correct tail. If you're like me, you constantly find things that you want to perfect. Okay, that's the tail. The back of the legs on a puppy, I don't normally deal with doing anything to, but if you wanted to clean them up a little bit, you'd brush them up this way, come along, and you just make a straight cut like that. Just like this. So it comes straight up this way. But normally you won't really do that on a baby. Okay. And that's the legs in the rear. Okay, groomers. Something about the feet of a Lagotto. And again, this is not really, shouldn't be addressed with a puppy. But you really do not cut the feet like a poodle. They should be full. So no shaving of the feet, no shaving of the toes. You want this to be as full as possible. The legs are like a column. They should be straight up and down. On a puppy, it's really not that imperative. But in an adult, you can completely ruin the look of the dog by cutting the feet. So now we're going to concentrate a little bit on the ears. And if you want to come up and focus. Okay, on the ears should be smallish and disappear into the head. So you're going to take your scissors and find your thumb. And I always cut the end. The brothers and sisters want to be groomed too, if you can hear in the background there. So once you've got your baseline of where the ear is at, all of this extra comes off. So in order for the ears to be small, you really have to get close. You know, any extra length of that ear is going to cause the ears to look too large and not disappear into the head. The next thing is the ear needs to sit into a pocket in order to disappear into the head. And the pocket is here. That's all this right here. So you cut away where the ear is going to lay in order to make a flat area for the ear to disappear into. Again, being careful not to take too much off of the front and not too much off of the rear so that the ear will disappear into the head. Good girl. For those of you non-breeders watching this, one of the keys to getting a puppy to sit still when you do this is sometimes when you restrain them too much, you cause more of a fight, which is not what you want. So you lay that ear down, and you'll see it disappear into the head. To get the shape of the head behind the ear, you use kind of long scissors here. Now, we're going to go on to plucking the ears. I left this ear full of hair so that we could demonstrate it. Of course, for you groomers, you don't need this. But for privates, you know, it's important to see how deep you actually get. So this is ear powder. You see this here? It really helps with gripping the hair. It also is a little bit of an anesthetic, so it kind of just put a little bit in, drop it around. When you start, you're going to hand pull. It's okay, baby. I know. Good baby. And with babies, it's important to go slow. They will cry, but how you react to this will define how much you have to battle the rest of the life with your dog. So you want to use a little bit of common sense. Don't push too hard. Be as soft as you can, but also understand that if you let the screaming stop you, then that will become habitual and they will learn. Now this is the hemostats. Down inside these ears, and this is what's important and I want everybody to see that's beginning, is that you really need to understand that getting that hair out of the ear does not mean pulling just that outside stuff. If you do, I'm going to swing around this side here, then you will have a very infected Lagotto. Good girl. So when you get that ear out, you're literally going down into the canal and pulling it out. Everybody's got a different tactic for this. I personally believe the hurry up and rip it all out as fast as you can doesn't work real well. Give them a little bit of freedom to shake their heads, but just don't react to the screaming. And again, what I do is pull that ear forward so it fits on the chin. Take the scissors and go around. Groomers, if you cut the stop of the dog or the beard, it will take 6 months to grow out and they look very, very, very strange. Pulled forward, that's how you know you've got your shape. You can come behind me and film right. Do not want a bouffant rounded top, but you do want it to be shaped. This is the stop. Groomers, you do not cut this. You don't. The eye, per the standard, you should see the eyes.